And we're live.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone who might be out there watching to the Fanboys 918 inaugural webcast, coming to you from parts unknown, Team Geek. This is our first of what we all hope will become some semi-regular webcasts where we'll discuss fandom, geekdom, and just about anything in between. Joining us tonight are Stephanie Hines, Buddy Brown, Jessica Hines, Laura the Wonder Midget Finley, Dwayne Robinson, who is also holding down the Fanboys 918 Northern Command Post, and me, John Hines. We decided for the first broadcast we were going to do, we would just kind of get our feet wet and do basically what we would kind of describe as a retro review. We're going to be discussing the pros and cons of a film that's been around for a while, so as a result there will be spoilers, and going forward when we do these types of reviews, we'll advise anyone watching whether our newer films will be spoiler-free or not. But with that said, let's dive feet first into what the film we'll be discussing tonight, the fanboy classic, the modern fanboy classic, Galaxy Quest. So let's get started. Who wants to chime in first?
I'd like to first say, never give up, never surrender.
Exactly.
I love this movie. Now, full disclosure, this was the first movie that Stephanie and I ever saw when we were dating. So, but
It was our very first date.
It was.
It was our very first date.
But
You didn't run away?
You guys even came to Oklahoma City to watch it with me.
That's right.
Yes,
So,
the second time.
Second
time, yes.
Yeah.
I did not encroach on any type of dating. If that's yes.
well,
You were the chaperone.
yeah, I'd like to think if it was a shitty film that we wouldn't have. I still wouldn't be this sentimental about it, even though it was our first film together. But it's a real shame that Jay Hyatt couldn't join us on this webcast because he loathes this movie.
He hates this movie,
and I really don't know why. For me, this movie is it's spectacularly cast. It has 2 or 3 great action sequences in it. For everybody who knows, it's a spoof of Star Trek, or it's a send-up of Star Trek. And the thing I've always loved about it is it's not making fun of the fans. It's kind of needling the fans.
It's embracing.
It's what?
embracing.
It's embracing the fans.
And the way I've explained it to people is, if you have no idea what you're watching, it's a funny movie. If you're a Star Trek fan, it's twice as funny as it should be. And if you're into all these sort of inside baseball stories about Star Trek, like how much the original cast hated William Shatner, this movie should be hysterical. So, I mean, that coupled with some of the action sequences that were better than some of the preceding Star Trek films, I think it's a great movie. I have nothing bad to say about Galaxy Quest.
Well, since Jay can't join us tonight, let me quote him and how he feels about this movie. And the way he feels is, quote, "It's like being pecked to death by 1,000 ducks." So, which is completely opposite of me. I completely can appreciate this movie. Sigourney Weaver's salute to Gates McFadden with hers, but especially Sam Rockwell's Guy Fleegman, a.k.a. Security Chief Rock Ingersoll.
He knows the name.
Was the biggest salute to one of my favorite lesser-known characters, which is Billy Blackburn, also known as Lieutenant Bill Hadley.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was, right there was one of the biggest salutes, was the fact that they were, saluting Billy. So. And, of course, Brandon is all of us. I mean, Brandon is completely us. I met Shatner this past week, a couple weeks ago at Comic-Con, and I couldn't have been any more hick if I tried to. I had 60 seconds with the man. I got to put my arm around him, have my autograph, and then when the man asks me a question, I say, "Don't buy nothing." Anything. My English was terrible, and I was done. So, but I was Brandon.
Buddy?
What we've said so far is correct. I mean, the film is basically how we live our lives and what were to happen if it actually happened to us. there isn't one of us that's not on this panel that wouldn't be standing out in a parking lot with some rocket flares trying to guide the USS Enterprise down to the planet, trying to save Kirk, Nimoy, all of them, everybody. So, I mean, I just don't know how anyone that doesn't love sci-fi, doesn't love Star Trek, can sit here and say Galaxy Quest isn't just an all-time favorite. I mean, it's a humorous nod, but it's a nod to us all in the sense like we know you. We are you.
It's like we're in on the fact you're in on the joke is exactly what I like about it. Yeah. Dwayne?
I mean, the whole thing, with the Sigourney was already the ultimate sci-fi queen to begin with before she ever even did this movie. And then, for Rickman and Tim to be going back and forth, and for Rickman to throw out, you scene-stealing hack, that just, how can you not love this movie?
Yeah. I mean, you've seen some of the interviews from the cast of Star Trek: The Original Series and how their relationship was on the set and everything. And again, it just echoes through that movie that, they were not the best of friends on the outside, but if it came to it, Leonard Nimoy, I mean, when it came into the animated series, he's like, what, Nichelle Nichols not going to be there? Walter Cohen's not going to be there? Sorry, no. Yeah, we've got to have them here because they're who makes Star Trek what they were, and we wouldn't have, So yeah, there's a lot. Again, we are in on the joke. The joke is not at us; it's with us. We're all getting to laugh.
That's how I feel.
And everything like that. And I mean, I'd like to hear Jessica, being the youngest of the group, what she thought of it. I mean, she didn't grow up with it like we did. I mean, she got introduced to it, in a different type of time period, an era where maybe even sci-fi wasn't really, especially that type of sci-fi was not so much, prominent other than in our household. But, and then getting to see how Galaxy Quest came out. So I'd like to hear Jessica's take on that.
Well, for me, Galaxy Quest, it was their first date, but it was one of the first movies they let me watch going forward. So, but even my friends who aren't big in Trek or anything like that, they love this movie. They think it's funny, they don't really understand all the jokes, but they still love it. So it's always great. And going through and like when Sigourney Weaver's going through like the bowels of the ship, she goes, "Why is this here? There's no point. Why is this here?" I feel like that's
every
sci-fi movie. There's always some stupid thing that you're like, why? Like, what is the point of this? Why is this here? So, but it's something that, I can still go back and watch and laugh over and over again, even though I know the jokes and I can quote the whole movie.
We just got a text in from Jason, our panelist that couldn't join us tonight, but he is watching us, but his comment was, "God, I wish I could slam that crap movie right now." So,
honey, I quoted you. I told him about the 1,000 ducks, the whole thing.
Now here's my question.
All right, Dwayne coming in, liking it.
Originally, this film was supposed to be a little bit more edgy than it actually turned out to be. There was supposed to be a little bit more language. There was supposed to be a lot more violence. Mm-hmm. And there was even supposed to be a little bit of sex in the movie. Probably the most obvious artifact of this is when they're going through the chompers, you can definitely tell that Sigourney Weaver's mouth says something completely different than what her voice says.
It's hilarious. It's almost, that's what makes it another funny joke to it. It's like, she said it, and it's like, hey, we've got to change that. And it just threw it. It's like, I could see that happening on the old series.
So the question is, how do you think that it would be a better movie or worse movie? Or do you think it would be as well beloved as it is now if it had been that different movie?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Well, and the thing about it is even with Sigourney talking about going through the choppers, you notice.
Where'd she go?
And where did that come from? So that's where,
because it's Star Trek. Or
it's Star Trek. Because, I mean, even though, Tim Allen's character, his shirt was still on, but Sigourney's was off. You know, and so
heck yeah.
You know, and that's just.
But that's what made, to me, that's what was part
cheese.
of the charm.
It's good cheese.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Good cheese. Campy.
Jason disagrees.
It was a little too much cheese probably for Jason. I also have to give a salute to Tony Shalhoub. I mean, he was so laid back. And his line where they beam in, or however they're doing it, and he says, what the hell is that? That was a hell of a thing. That's what he said. That's a hell of a thing. Yeah, what's wrong with them? You know, and he was like, oh, cool. You know, yeah. I love Tony Shalhoub as it was on Wings, but then to see him there, that was just hysterical.
And it was especially funny to see his portrayal, because he's playing Fred Kwan, and he's supposed to be a quote unquote Asian man. He's being played by someone who's absolutely not Asian, just like, you know, obviously Chekhov and Walter Koenig. And there's something I didn't actually notice until relatively recently, that half the time whenever he's playing his character and someone like says his name, you'll notice that he'll squint his eyes just a little bit more in order to get back into the character of, oh, I'm supposed to be an Asian guy.
Yeah, when he especially when he turns around when you read the character's name, you can see those eyes squint right up, and it just those little nods right there always cracked me up.
Okay, Jay just said it was worse than blue cheese. Ha ha ha.
See, and blue cheese is one of my favorites. So, you know, yin and yang.
But here's the other thing that makes Galaxy Quest work for me is, yes, it's a comedy, but the humor is derived from the characters in the situation that they're in. It's not like, sorry, Shat, it's not like Scotty bumping his head on the you know, the beam in the service crawlway. The humor from the cast is because they're in this situation and they're trying to fake it. Whereas the alien race that's portrayed, they're portrayed straight. I mean, just the whole concept of you know, like Jessica brought up earlier with the chompers going, they built that because that was on the blueprints. That was in the, you know, they didn't know any better. That's how, for all they know, that's what made the ship work. You know,
and I love how there was they hid nothing, absolutely like Spock was. Yeah. They didn't get it.
Right. They did not, and the things, the way the other characters reacted, like my favorite line is, "Oh, guys, that ain't right."
That ain't right. Yeah.
What's my last name? You have a last name, guys.
Yeah.
Do I
have a real last name?
And you know, getting back to the fandom thing, you know, like Buddy said, that would be us. I mean, when the movie opens and they're showing the first part of the Galaxy Quest two-parter, you know, and you look out in the audience, there's fans crying because the thing hadn't aired since 1982. Yeah.
Well, I will have to say one thing, though. There was one scene when they were getting ready to help, and they had contacted Brandon, and he told him that it's all real, and he knew it. Yeah. When he's running outside, and he says, the recyclables are not that important. Yeah. The first person I thought of was John Hines. Because I can see you running out of your mama's house, taking out the trash. Mom, the recyclables are not that important.
I can see the scene that gets me is when hey, you got the blueprints. Well, so and so has the lower levels. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I've heard you guys have the same conversation. Hey, do you have this book? No, I only have part of it. You guys have the same.
Yeah.
Of course, at the very end of the movie, you know, Tim Allen rolls a natural 20, and they're dragging mines. But you know.
Well, okay. Let me say this. You know, Tim Allen has been very candid about the fact. I mean, let's face it. Tim Allen, coming off of Home Improvement, he probably could have had his pick of parts. He has made some rather questionable film choices, but he said he is basically loathed on the internet. You look up Tim Allen, he said, but as soon as someone brings up he was in Galaxy Quest, oh, that's all right. I mean, you know, it's like everything's forgiven. You know?
Forgiven.
And my favorite Tim Allen story is when Tim Allen actually met Shatner, and Shatner said, "Oh, I loved how you were doing me in the chair." And he's like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, when you're sitting there in the chair, you're doing me." And he's like, "No, Tim, or no, Bill, I was doing King Lear, but I was doing Yul Brynner, but that's okay."
Well, so was Shat.
It's over the Shat, yeah.
I was going to say, Shat was doing Neil Brenner too.
That's right.
Or the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
You shall not pass.
And I do like how they did a hat tip to the Genesis device with the Omega 13.
Yeah.
The Omega 13 device. So that was nice.
And you know what? And I'm sorry that Jay's not here, because one of the things that I think Dwayne and I discussed, one of the reasons Enterprise had such a hard time was, hell, it was Galaxy Quest, the TV series.
Basically.
I mean, they had the shuttle pods. They couldn't use the transporter, was unreliable. I mean, when you think about Enterprise as a show, it's like, yeah, I'm like, this is Galaxy Quest, the show, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even the uniforms were kind of a nod to Galaxy Quest.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, they did the combination of the navigators, you know, where you've got Wesley Crusher, but then you've also got Enterprise, and they combined them two into the one young kid.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and
Pedal to the metal.
probably one of the worst performances delivered by some poor unnamed child actor ever.
Well, no, because now he's on.
No, not him. The kid that was playing him.
Well, the kid that was playing him, because the kid now, I mean, he's on NCIS in New Orleans
with Scott Bakula. How weird is that?
Scott Bakula in a wheelchair.
It all comes back to Star Trek.
But there's actually two actors that played that character. So you've got the guy that's on NCIS, and he's our age.
Yeah.
But then you've got the kid who's about Jessica's age now.
Yeah.
You know, there were actually two people that played that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he would be my age, because I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie came out.
Young Laredo, how you've grown.
And that guy, I would love to see that guy in something, the guy that played young Laredo, because, I mean, he's got dreads, and he's a really nice looking guy, and he does such a funny job. I'd love to see him in something now, but he's probably one of those actors that has a regular job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mom put him in that for money at that point, and then, going on. 'Cause he's so young.
well, and again, they talk about this was a movie also that I think Dwayne, you probably have done a little bit more research on it, but I think when it was released, I think it kind of broke even. Maybe it may have just barely made its budget back, and now it's a cult movie.
Oh yeah. It absolutely.
It's Rocky Horror on steroids.
Yeah, the budget on this one was about $45,000. It came in at about, $45 million. It came in at about $71 million all told when it was all said and done. But it definitely was not the blockbuster hit that not only it should have been, but the hit that they would have really liked.
Well,
but you're absolutely right. It's one of those films that has really gotten its audience and gotten its beloved status from the fact that it's been on video and been on cable for so long that people just fell in love with it.
Well, and I think part of it was they didn't know how to market it.
That's probably very true.
Because, like if you ask George Takei, he'll say about Galaxy Quest, it's one of the best pieces of documentary filmmaking I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my.
Well, and that brings up a great point too, in that it's not just the fact that it's a spot-on parody of Star Trek, and that it's not just the fact that it's got great humor, but it really has that emotional core too.
Yes, it does.
That really makes it stick. If it had just been funny, it would have been okay. But the fact that it has those real emotions and that it's really impactful, that's what makes it stick.
Well, once the crew breaks, it's when it all really is when it becomes a classic. I mean, every character has an arc. Every Jay just said he just texted in and said he can't believe it made as much money as it did. God.
Yeah, he was like, I can't see how it made any money at all.
Kind of like my album I'm going to put out. I'm going to call it Head Cleaner, so I might sell some cassettes by accident. That's a little ancient humor there for any youngins that might be.
Yeah, I'm quite sure there was a few people like, what the hell is he talking about?
Head cleaner.
Head cleaner.
That's a head cleaner.
I have no idea.
Back in my day, we had head cleaners that would clean the head.
I don't know what that is.
Back when they had the VHS and the Betamax.
That's right. It was, and getting back into the whole nostalgia thing, that was one of the reasons, believe it or not, that J.J. Abrams was a little apprehensive to take on the 2009 Star Trek, because he said, how in the name of hell do I make a Star Trek film for an entire generation of people that have seen Galaxy Quest? I mean, that was literally one of the things he said. I think he did a great job, but... All right. Anybody else got anything to add? Because I'm pretty much out.
Well, I do enjoy. I did like how they finally embraced their own characters. Sigourney Weaver having to repeat all of the commands. That was just, that was ridiculous. But it was one of those things of the plot flaws that tend to creep in sometimes. But also when Rickman's character, he got so tired and constantly through the movie saying, I'm not going to say that line again. I'm not going to say that line again. And then when the one guy...
shall be avenged.
Exactly. And then when, what was his name? Quilic? When he died and he felt it. He felt what his fans felt. And he said the words. That was pretty funny.
Speechless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's also kind of sad, if we're kind of running out of stuff to say, that it kind of is sad that the fact that we won't get a Galaxy Quest 2, and it's actually a double-edged sword. It's sad that we won't, but maybe I'm glad we won't, because of the fact that, it's such a kind of dear to some of our true fans out there of its heart that, you can't improve upon that. It caught that bolt of lightning in a jar, and it was magic, and it was great for all of us fans. But again, you would love to see. I mean, I could easily think of a good story that could spin for that and everything. But again, would you be fortunate enough to kind of grab that lightning again and be able to do that? Or, and again, you get also the studios just trying to milk a good thing or milk fans for as much as they can get. So,
because keep in mind, remember the sequels we thought we wanted, which were Ghostbusters 2.
Right.
Ghostbusters 2 was awesome.
Ghostbusters 2 is hilarious, but it's not as good as the first one.
Right.
Well, maybe that needs to be our debate for the next one.
No, I'm thinking Ninja Turtles.
Now, see, Ninja Turtles not Steph. I mean, Steph liked the second one better than the first one. But that's getting off a different panel. But yeah, I mean, you got to think of it. Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
Godfather 2. So we as good as the first one, but you got to see the first one.
The first one to see that we approved the second one.
So we wanted to make that I thought our next thing was going to be Doctor Strange.
Well, we are going to do Doctor Strange.
Well, I'd like to maybe suggest that our fans who are watching, perhaps they should comment below and give us suggestions of what movies they'd like us to review as well. I mean, there's going to be some obvious ones that we're going to...
By the way, Jason's very happy that we're not getting a Galaxy Quest sequel.
You can like it.
No, Jason says, thank God we won't get a second sequel.
That Jay, he's such a card. We're gonna fix his iPad so we can make sure he gets into this.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I seem to remember there actually being like a comic book sequel that they produced at one point from the Galaxy.
I think you're right. I think they did have a Galaxy Quest comic book.
Yeah.
I think I did that. I mean, it wasn't a very long running issue or anything, but I think you're right, Dwayne. I do think I remember a Galaxy Quest comic book or graphic novel or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I mean, we've gone just about 30 minutes and everything. So again, this is our first live webcast, and I don't know how many people watched this or not, but we can leave this up here as the Fanboys 918.
First,
get started with this. As of right now, our fanboys918.com website shows us trying to get back together on the 18th of November to do our Doctor Strange review. at 8 p.m. That would be a Sunday for the group. So, check out the site. We'll eventually post to our Twitter and our Facebook accounts to verify the time. So, again, this is our first one. So I know we've got some things to work on here, but as a group, we'll get this straightened out, and hopefully this will be more enjoyable next time.
Never give up and never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender. Exactly right.
And before we end, I'd like to just say hi to Vance. Congratulations to you guys on your baby, and to our super fan, Jackie, who wanted to make sure she did not miss this because she loves Galaxy Quest.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So, again, guys, unless anyone else has anything, I'm going to stop the broadcast, but let's stay online for a few minutes and talk, and then we'll go our merry way. So, pretty much, I think,
and we'll see all you fans soon.
Exactly.
Right.
So, anyone else got anything?
Nope.
No.
All right. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Gracie.